Hello everybody, it's your boy K to the A to the T to the O, back at again with another video. We're doing, finally, another tier list. So since you guys love the COD one so much and I heard so much different feedback from it, I have listened to the comments and the feedback. So in this, our Call of Duty Zombie tier list, which is what we're going to be doing today, it's kind of our annual tradition at this point. We do it year after year after year. And it just keeps getting better. My opinions change. Some maps I like more, some maps I like a little less. I play a little bit of everything. I'm a zombies gamer. In fact, I was even playing Black Ops 3 Zombies, some custom zombies, on my Twitch channel. Old Fashioned Kato self plug. Too easy. Anyways, due to that feedback, I have moved my camera to the right. I can also disappear my camera if you guys want to see the full tier list and just take a little tiny screenshot. Tick, tick. Because this is going to be the best Call of Duty tier list ever. Everyone else, get out the way. This is the true one from an experienced zombies player, which is me. These are my opinions. Obviously, I'm not a ginormous YouTuber or streamer, but I've been playing zombies since day one. So we're gonna rank all of these, or try to at least. I think these are... Doesn't have extinction, right? Surely not. Oh my god, it has extinction. Okay, I guess we're ranking extinction too. I don't... Why does this tier... Can we get a tier list? No, what? Please tell me this doesn't have extinction. I don't see extinction on here. Okay, I think we're good. This looks to be... Oh no, I lied. There's extinction. Screw it. Chat, we're doing this one. We're starting with this one. We're just doing this one. I'll quickly go through extinction too, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of extinction, so if you're an extinction lover right now, ain't gonna lie, chat, or I mean comments, chat. I'm used to Twitch streaming. You're probably not gonna like this tier list. All right, let's jump into it. Exodus. This shit is going in painful, bro. Honestly, you know what? Let's just get this out the way, bro. Let's just do this right frickin' now. I'm gonna do this right now. Also, can we delete this row? I played all these. Point of contact. Fucking. Oh my god. I can't believe they even have done this, bro. Who puts these in a zombies tier list, bro? Oh no, that's EXO. Awakening. What the frick? Is that everything, chat? I think so. I think we're good. Okay. Oh, and Mayday. All of extinction is absolutely painful, and anyone that says otherwise is absolutely lying. All of extinction was absolutely terrible. There was nothing fun about it. It had so many different identities of what it wanted to be, but then it just compiled into nothing. So it wanted to be Call of Duty Zombies. Obviously, at the time, Cod Zombies was on a little bit of a hot streak, and Call of Duty Ghosts was coming out after Black Ops 2. So they had to make a quote-unquote their own version of, you know, of their their version of zombies, right? So what they did is they made Extinction, which was you fought aliens, you would put down a drill, and you had to protect the drill, and you went through a bunch of that, pretty much the same thing over and over again, with slight tweaks and variations, till you got to the end, and then you like exfilled / you beat the map. It was pretty much like that for all these. Obviously, it's not the exact same, and there was a little bit of story introduced in all these, but they were just absolutely terrible. There was not one good thing I could say about Extinction. No one wants to go back to Extinction. No one even says, yo, you know what, guys? Yeah, I really liked Extinction. Can we get Extinction back? No one says that, okay? Let's be real. No one says that. You know how I know this? Because people actually say that about Infinite Warfare Zombies more than Extinction. So, There's the nail on the coffin about Extinction. No one really likes Extinction. If you're saying you like Extinction, you're lying to yourself. You're lying to the people that like zombies. You're lying to everybody. Nobody likes Extinction. Let's carry on. Kino der Toten. Okay, controversial take here. Kino der Toten. Absolutely top of great. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Before you start typing or commenting, there's nothing bad about Kino. The only real argument you can make is the teleporter could have been a little bit more optimized, where instead of you going to the theater, activating it there, and then go back to spawn and activating it, and then using the teleporter every single time is annoying. I'll give you that. And the little exo, brain fart. Nova 6, sorry, there you go. Nova 6 crawlers are obnoxious. I will give you that. But in terms of layout, gameplay, and being a base, like just like no Easter eggs really or anything. There's little side Easter eggs you could do. Just in terms of a bare bone map, Kino's is almost as perfect as you can possibly get. And this came directly after Deriz, which was also pretty much almost a perfect map. So, I mean, kind of a little bit of a spoiler. But yeah, no, Kino der Toten's fantastic. It absolutely deserves A. If someone says, I want to play a bare bones, somewhat survival experience where I just want to chill, relax, and play till a high round, Kino der Toten is your guy. And if you say something else, you're absolutely delusional. So there's my little rant. Because if I had to pick a survival map, Kino's my go-to. Honest to God. Kino's always up there. I will never be... Like, people that say, ugh, Kino der Toten, or ugh, who would play Kino? You're a nerd. Just at the end of the day, you're a damn nerd. Kino's great, goated. Revelations. Now, Revelations has been an interesting road for me. I ain't even going to lie. Because at first, when it first came out, like, I played it the millisecond it dropped on the PlayStation Store. I remember we all stayed up. This was obviously a couple years ago during school, when I was still in school. And I remember playing it for the first time, and I thought it was up here. I thought it was the almost, if not the perfect map, because it had all the variations of all the different sections of all the past zombies, and it had all the best wonder weapons. The camo was beautiful. The worm pack punch area was very interesting. Even the Easter egg, even though I wasn't a huge fan of doing the Easter egg ending cutscene was phenomenal, and it was awesome. And it kind of tied it all together. Overall, I thought it was up here, but then over the years, obviously, Revelations has gone down in quality in terms of realizing that, you know, having different sections of all the good maps, like of all previous maps, actually just kind of makes you appreciate the original maps a bit more. So if I'm in an area of Kino, I actually just would rather go back and play on Kino, the map Kino der Toten. Same with the Rise and Drac or Verrucht or any of the other mini maps, mini variations in Revelations, because it was just a bunch of different... There's only 2 new areas in total, the Spawn Island and then the giant worm, pack punch worm thing. So, but actually playing it more and more and more, I played it a lot more on PC BO3 Chronicles Edition than I did console. And I will have to say, I think actually overall it is a good map. There's a lot of unique aspects to it, even though its identity is kind of wishy-washy. It is a little bit... It's probably going to be at the bottom of good. It's kind of closer to average, but there's just so many little side Easter eggs and cool Easter eggs you can do. And there's just like a lot of activities you can do on the map and a lot of things you can buy. And even just the hat system. I think the hat system really carried Revelations in a lot of ways. Just having the God mask and, you know, getting Al's hat and just a bunch of cool little stuff you can do on that. Especially like the parkour for a free perk. Super random, but just also really cool. It's also super fun to get the high rounds because there were so many good wonder weapons and traps and other things you could do, or just like activating a keeper around the map. I think in terms of flow, Revelations is good. Kino der Toten's way better because Kino's more simpler. Where Revelations is simple on paper, taking TP uh, to each section of the map or a launcher is just not. It's not ideal. It's just not great. It doesn't feel great. You know what I mean? And trying to train in the little tiny areas of certain sections of maps just doesn't feel great either. Especially since most of them are beat up and rumbly. So like they have a bunch of fallen rocks or just stuff that wasn't there originally. I get it's to change it, but overall it make the flow like of training in those classic spots a little weird, especially Kino and even like the Rise and Drax room. I loved training in the original Rise and Drax room, but not this one. So I talked about Revelations a little long. That's fine. It's gonna be a longer type video. Descent. Where do I even start with Descent? Oh, sweet baby Jesus. This is a. In terms of Exo Zombies, right? If we're looking in the terms of Exo's not one of my favorite, to be honest. Is it a painful map? Is it as bad as Extinction? Absolutely not. Nothing's worse than Extinction. But is it lackluster or bad? And now that I think more about it, I think it is lackluster. It's not bad. It's not the absolute worst. I do have more memories of Descent than I do any other map on Exo Zombies. That might be slightly mistrue. I haven't played it super recently, but I think I played it one second most recent Exo Zombies map I played. Descent's overall good. I think the Wonder Weapon on Descent is really, really solid. I think the map layout's alright. And I think the Descent was the conclusion to the Exo Zombies storyline, and the boss was DJ Oz, or Oz. Oz was definitely the best character of that storyline, 100%. So it does suck he wasn't a playable character, especially since he was really the only character I even liked out of the Exo Zombies cast. But I think overall Descent was good, for like as good as it can get. Not as in actually a good Call of Duty Zombies experience, because Exo Zombies was not. It was still bare bones, like not even good. But Descent, I think overall was kind of one of the better ones out of all the Exo Zombies experiences. That's about as much detail you're going to get from me. I don't want to go into all the details of what I liked and didn't like about Exo. Honestly, I can put it simply real fast for you. The blue Exo Zombies that shocked you and you lost your exosuit were absolutely stupid because there was like zero counterplay to it. And the Pack-a-Punch system in Exo Zombies kind of ruined the experience, changed my mind. Okay. Ascension. Ascension's an average map. Ascension gets a lot of points for having PhD Flopper is number one, and also being the very first Easter egg. So if you like any Easter egg, in my opinion, it's kind of disrespectful to put Ascension even below average, because obviously the Easter egg had to be somewhat good enough that people were somewhat interested in the story, and then they kept snowballing it into something fantastic. Overall fantastic for the most part. Not in recent years, but it did have something. It had people interested. Even Kino der Toten, even though they slightly hinted at, the main characters and who even are the main characters and what are we doing here, they played with that idea, and then Ascension kind of turned it up to the max a little bit, where you had to actually do steps, and there was not an in-game cutscene, but an actual ending in the game, where you got a reward for beating the Easter egg. So overall, I think Ascension is good. Not good, like average good. I think the BO3 version is actually better on Ascension. I'm not gonna go too much into the BO3 versus the BO1 versions, but if you say the BO3 version's better on Kino, you're absolutely tripping. I don't want to hear it from you. BO1 version of Kino's the superior one, and I'm not gonna hear any other opinion on that. Darkest Shore. This is a bad map. I'm sorry, World War II lovers, if there is any of you out there. Darkest Shore is absolutely tragic. And the fact that I even paid money for World War II DLC is also tragic. World War II was a mess. It wasn't even a COD that I liked. The campaign, to me, didn't feel as good as the previous ones. It just felt kind of lifeless, generic World War II story. And it was kind of being overdone, especially since EXO, even though this was supposed to be the game that took a break from EXOs, this also felt fatiguing for some reason. I went through the campaign, not good. Multiplayer, I didn't really enjoy World War II either. So then I thought my last hope would be zombies. And I'm not gonna lie, Final Reich, we'll get to that in a minute actually. My opinions on Final Reich. But Darkest Shore coming out as a DLC, and I'm not gonna lie, the trailer looked interesting. I was somewhat hooked. Well, not hooked. I was interested. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And I will give credit where credit's due. The World War II trailers and the in-game cutscenes were fantastic. The actual gameplay, on the other hand, not very good at all. I was not a fan of the Darkest Shore at all, especially since I'm not a huge fan of the jug system. Anyways, the map flow was also poor. The wonder weapon was very bad. One of the worst wonder weapons, like, I think I can ever even think of, just in terms of how it looks and how it feels. And the damage numbers, it just was not great. Not only that, yet the map was just gray. Darkest Shore was correct because you couldn't see nothing. It was just the color gray. I get that for like horror games like Silent Hill and stuff. For Cod Zombies, I understand they were trying to be a bit darker and stuff, but it just ended up being goofy and just you couldn't see anything. So the overall gameplay experience was hindered significantly. The Final Reich. I think the Final Reich is the best version of World War II Zombies. No questions asked. I don't think anything comes close. I think it is the better of Lackluster. To be fair, when it first came out, it was an average. But the more I replay the Final Reich, the less and less I enjoy it. And I'm just like, man, this map is just kind of lackluster in the D category. I like certain aspects of it. I like and I don't like. So the Final Reich, the core gameplay was okay, I think. The perks were alright, and I do like some of the guns, and I did like some of the sections where you went underneath the map into the bunkers, and you had a flashlight, and it was dark and spooky, and they could jump scare you and stuff, type of deal. I also think the final boss in the Final Reich is probably the best World War II Zombies boss, if not one of the cooler COD Zombies bosses we actually have gotten. So I will give them props for that. But yeah, the jug system, very, very, very... It's so hard to go back to this game because of the jug system itself, which is weird because I like other experiences where they have changed the jug formula. But World War II's, man, I don't know. It just feels so unforgiving and just takes and takes and takes for you to even want Juggernog because it costs more and more to get to just get those extra hits back. So I'm just not a fan of that system. It feels just very unrewarding. It's like just taking your money for you just wanting to have more health. So to me, I'm not a fan of that. Wonder Weapon was alright. It was okay. And the Easter egg was okay. I did like that there was a feature to tell you exactly how to do the Easter egg. I kind of wish they had an option to not have that on. Just for, the hardcore Zombies players to at least attempt to figure it out. But then that would be a whole thing where people would use one mode to figure out how to do the Easter egg and then probably tell the people not using the journal, like the people not doing the step-by-step how to do the Easter egg. So maybe they could have switched the Easter egg a little bit. They could have been like, here's the easier Easter egg where it tells you exactly what to do, and then here's the Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg. And they wouldn't even need to change the cutscene or anything, I don't think. Just the steps of how to do it is what I would have done personally. But yeah, there's just too much wrong with the Final Reich, in my opinion, and World War II Zombies as a whole. I really wish it would be rank higher, but the more I go back and play it, it is just not good. Origins, our very first S tier. Easy S tier. I don't think anyone's surprised by this, and anyone that puts Origins even below S, I don't think they're even fans of Call of Duty Zombies. Origins is near perfect, if not perfect, as a zombies experience can get. Origins is fantastic, not only in setting, I think it's the best wonder weapons wise, just in terms of everything gameplay, mechanics, bosses, just the stuff you can do on Origins is insane. Both versions of Origins are good, BO2 and BO3. I'm not a particular fan of either. I just think overall Origins is a map that works extremely well in general. It's just a solid map. I think it's Call of Duty's one of Call of Duty's, if not Call of Duty's best zombies map, if not one of them ever made. So yeah, no, I don't think I have to go into depth. Every other zombies YouTuber probably goes on and on, or other people with more knowledge than me. Origins, to me though, is easy S tier. Now this one might shock people. Okay, this might shock people, but I think Zombies in Spaceland is also an S tier map. I don't think it's better than Origins. Obviously, everyone hold your horses, but in terms of a non like Activision, not Activision, what? Jason Blundell slash Jimmy Zielinski? Yeah, Jimmy Zielinski experience. Pretty much not Treyarch. Let's put it that way. That I should have said that from the start. A non-Treyarch experience. This is, if not the best zombies we've ever gotten. And I am a big Lee Ross enjoyer. I think all of his maps had something provided that added something new and was good to the formula, that was different enough and goofy enough from our or like all these other classics maps up here, that I don't know, man. Zombies in Space Lane is just fantastic. Not only for a first like introduction to a new zombies mode, just even in general, it is an all-time favorite of mine, and I go back to it frequently. I really enjoy Zombies in Space Lane. It is by far one of my favorite non-Treyarch zombies experiences. The wonder weapons are a little lackluster, but cool, wacky. There are four pretty much mini ray guns with different side effects. The map flow works fantastically. Just the way you navigate through each section of the amusement park, by the way. Our only zombies amusement park map we've ever gotten in a somewhat official Call of Duty Activision zombies experience, and they've done it phenomenally well. The story was also pretty damn interesting, and it had me I was interested. Okay, let's just go with that. But no, Zombies Space Lane, fantastic map. If you haven't played it, it is definitely worth a play. I think it is, if not on par with any other Treyarch Activision map, because that's just how damn fun it is. There's so much you can do. Boss Easter egg is simple yet fun and hard, because the boss fight is simple yet hard but fun. Overall, there's just very little in what is bad about Zombies to Space Land. I could go into it, but fantastic. Beasts from Beyond, however, funny how this works. We're starting from the first Infinite Warfare Zombies experience to the last, and the last one, unfortunately, is very lackluster. Now, I'm going to put it in lackluster, not bad, so hear me out. I'm going to put it above these two. Even though I'm a huge fan of Infinite Warfare Zombies, and I love the mechanics, and I love the perks, and I love the fortune cards, and just how the mechanics work of Infinite Warfare, Beasts from Beyond is definitely the worst of Infinite Warfare Zombies, and it's not even close for me. The only reason I put it in lackluster is because if you finished all the main Easter eggs, you unlock like Director's Cut, which is a special mode, and you can fight a secret special boss fight after Beast from Beyond, and you have to finish Beast from Beyond to do so. I think the idea of involving Extinction was just a bad idea to begin with, because I wasn't even a fan of Extinction to begin with. Like, I'm not an Extinction liker, so the idea of introducing Extinction to Infinite Warfare Zombies was just a terrible idea to me, and it was played very poorly. I think the idea was there of having a little bit of all the other maps included with it, a little bit of a Revelations type thing, but it also just didn't work because the main aspect was, again, extinction, so it just didn't flow well. It also had some of the worst features from previous maps, which I thought they would improve upon, but they didn't. um, but yeah, it just fell really flat. I think the Venom X in Zombies was a cool idea, especially because that's probably the only notable thing from Extinction to begin with, was the Venom X Wonder Weapon, if you can even call it a Wonder Weapon. But it's the weird gun you would like squeeze a plant juice into. I don't even know how you explain it. You know, if you know, you know. But that's about it. Um, but yeah, I think honestly, just the base mechanics of Infinite Warfare is what makes this better than these other experiences, in my honest opinion. Shadow Throne. Uh, is it lackluster or bad? Honest to God, after replaying it a couple more times, I would probably play it over The Darkest Shore, so I'll put it at the bottom of lackluster. I would probably play Descent over the Shadow Throne. Actually, it's not probably, I would. Um, Shadow Throne, there's not much to say about it other than the Wonder Weapon was okay. Wonder Weapons, if you want to say that. I don't know. It's just an okay map at best. I haven't played it for a very long time, so I can't really bring much about it. I know it's a super small map layout, didn't really flow super well. Easter egg was kind of super easy but not enjoyable. And the Wonder Weapon was okay. Again, just not a huge fan of this map. Thought it was okay at best. But it's not bad. It's not Darkest Shore bad. I think it's just slightly better. Bus Tipo is lackluster. Would I play this over all of these though? Yeah, probably. I would put Bus Tipo bottom. No, that's a lie. Who am I kidding? Okay, I think it's, yeah, that's a good spot. I would still play that over the Shadow Throne, but it definitely doesn't deserve to be up here close to average. Hell no. Bus Depot is such a weird map. So much wrong with that, especially since it came out like way later. And in terms of a bare bones map, it makes bare bones maps look bad, which is such a weird concept to me, especially since we've already had so many good bare bone maps. This one just falls really flat, especially since it's an area of a big map. Not only that, it's just two rooms, like it's like two rooms in an open area, but it's not fun. It's not like rewarding. There's no pack a punch. It's a challenge map essentially, but it's not a fun challenge. It's more like a, oh, okay, I'll do this for a couple minutes and then get off and quit because you don't care. Again, not a huge fan of Bus Depot. Not much more to say about it. Die Rise, I think it's average. I think with a little bit more attention, I know Mr. T Lexify is actually doing a remaster of Die Rise for BO3, so hopefully that improves the game. The map, I mean, not the game, the map itself, because there's a lot missing in the BO2 version of Die Rise that I think, if changed, could possibly make this a good, if not a great map. The idea is awesome, super duper cool. The Wonder Weapon's one of the best Wonder Weapons we've ever gotten. It's just a shame it's on a map that doesn't really favor it. Yeah, just stuff like that. I think also what really hurts this map is no PhD, which is just such a strange detail that they didn't add PhD to Die Rise, especially since they have the physical perk on the map but didn't let you purchase it. I think it was really dumb of them to do that, especially for a map that's basically focused on parkour and moving from building to building and making jumps. I think that was just a stupid idea from anybody did not have PhD on that map. Just not a fan of that idea. And the fact they even trolled the idea of it being on the map, but you can't get it, is very stupid. Not really that good of a joke. Mauer, I think it's average. I would probably put it top of average, actually. I'm not a huge fan of Cold War Zombies, so if you're wondering why Mauer isn't higher, I'm just not a big fan of Cold War, unfortunately. I don't like the mechanics. I don't really like the systems too much. I think it actually hinders the game more than it benefits it. But I know some people will probably disagree with that take, and I completely understand. But in terms of a map and the zombie flow, I think Mauer is a great map. In terms of the way it flows, um, the weapons are pretty solid. Not my favorite in terms of zombies. Um, and yeah, again, honestly, the mechanics are what draw it back for me. And when I say mechanics, you're like, can you give a criteria? What does mechanics even mean? So the thing about Cold War I don't like in terms of when I say mechanics, for the most part, is the salvage system, where you get little zombies drop salvage, and you can make armor, or you can upgrade your weapon tier, or you can buy score streaks. There's like a bunch of different little things you can do with salvage. And I'm not really a fan of any of those things. I don't like using salvage for armor. I don't like armor systems based like that. I'd just rather a shield. I don't like weapon rarities too much. It's a cool idea and concept. It's kind of nitpicking type of deal. Like, it's not actually that big of a deal, but again, I would rather it not be there, and either the weapon be good or the weapon be bad. Like, you gotta use it to figure it out, type of deal. That's how I prefer the figuring out if guns are strong or not in zombies. For me, anyways. Um, that's how I feel about that. Mauer, I think story, even though Cold War had some of the worst COD zombie storytelling, it was just very lackluster, not very good. Easter egg was kind of whatever. I think Mauer's definitely was the best in terms of Cold War. And yeah, I think Cold War is definitely the best out of the bunch in Call of Duty Cold War. It's definitely my most fond zombies experience of Cold War, which I didn't have many of. So, Noct is a hmm. I might get a little bit of heat for this, but I'm gonna put Noct at the bottom of good, so just above average. So, but hear me out. People are probably gonna be like, "Dude, that's crazy. Noct does not deserve to be that high." So here's my counter argument to that. If COD Zombies wasn't good, if it was average, in my honest opinion, they wouldn't continue developing this mode to where it is today. COD Zombies is a staple in any of the Call of Duties now. It is the official third mode, and if you do something different, it's now considered weird. Before, Treyarch was the funky studio in terms of the COD rotation that tried out zombies, and people are like, "Oh, we'll just leave zombies to Treyarch, and that's their weird third little mode." But now we're in the present, 2024, as this recording. Uh, Zombies is now a staple in any Call of Duty. So Infinite Warfare, Sledgehammer, um, Treyarch, like just anything. Even Call of Duty Chinese has zombies, their own version of zombie. Like, it's zombies is in every game now at this point. And honestly, it probably will keep going until COD either stops existing or they just stop making COD games. It has blown up that much. So, to my point, the original point I'm trying to make here is that I think Noct deserves good, because even though it is a bare bones map, there's not much to it. There's like a box. That's pretty much it, and it's like 2 or 3 rooms. Um, just that idea, and even going back and playing it now, it is still a good map. I have an enjoyable experience on Noct because not just nostalgia set aside, I think because it's so bare bones, that's where the challenge comes in. And in terms of a challenge map, that's where it's fun. There's not much to help you. You're on your own, isolated, and all you have is a mystery box and some wall weapons to try and help you. It's all on your skill as a zombies player to try and survive as long as you can, but the idea is you can't win. There's no winning in that situation. And that's what I think people really got hooked into this idea of COD Zombies and how it became to what it is today. So in terms of do I think it's good, I think it is a good map. Not just even just the mechanics alone. All that set aside, I think it is a good map. And if it was an average map, I don't think Treyarch would put as much effort into zombies. I honestly think that. If it was average or even lackluster, like some people put it in, I don't think zombies would be as big as it is today. So clearly, there had to be something good enough about Noctur Der Toten that they latched onto that idea and kept improving it, and then people fell in love with it. So, little rant over. I think Nox a good map. If you think differently, that sucks to be you. This is my opinion. Moon is a top tier A map. I know a lot of people either are going to hate this or love this because Moon's a very decisive map. In my opinion, Moon is almost S tier for me, man. Moon is almost S tier in terms of the Easter egg, the wonder weapons, the side Easter eggs, and just the ambience of Moon itself is fantastic. Now, I prefer the BO1 version to BO3. I know a lot of people are going to question mark that probably and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? No one would ever say that. BO1 Moon is all gray and gross and disgusting. Yeah, that's kind of how the moon would look like. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that's how I feel like to experience the game mode. It's dark, it's gritty, and you don't hear much when you have the astronaut suit on, and those are pluses for me. I don't play zombies for it to look pretty or good. I do like maps that do that, like Zombies at Spaceland, obviously. Origins isn't a pretty map either, really. It's all gray and, World War II era, but that's besides the point. Revelations or maps with pretty pretty skies. We'll go with that. I think it's called skyboxes. Yeah, skybox. Like even Kino has a pretty outside. It's all sunny and all cloudy and blue sky. But that doesn't really separate what makes a good map for me. I'm not into a map based off its graphics or anything. I'm more about gameplay, flow, and is the Easter egg good? And Moon has one of the, if not an iconic Easter egg. Whether you like Moon or not, you know the Easter egg and how it ends of you blowing up the Earth. Whether you know that because you started on BO2 and then you're like, why is the Earth slightly blown up? Why is everything in chaos? And then you somewhat learn because you look it up. Or you played BO1 and you heard it. Or you just seen it because it's that iconic. Any of those work for me because that's how good of a map it is. The flow of the map's great. The only real downsides to Moon, in my honest opinion, is the excavator and some of the windows being super easy to blow up. Other than that, though, really, there's not too much bad about Moon, in my honest opinion. The zero gravity doesn't throw me off too much, and yeah, overall, I just think it's a great map. I don't know why it gets so much hate. And that's my opinion. Voyage of Despair, however, definitely deserves the hate. It is a bad map. It's not a painful map, but it's definitely a bad map. Would I play Voyage over Darkest Shore? Probably. I played more BO4 than I ever did World War II. But again, even saying that, Voyage of Despair is absolutely terrible. I hate everything about Voyage of Despair. It's not good. Not great at all. Didn't add much to the story either. It added a little bit, but the Easter egg was just kind of really, really bad. It's kind of the best way to describe it is this is the worst way to do an Easter egg, like ever. Absolutely tragic. Wonder Weapon was super duper bad, as in just boring to look at and boring to use. Like, it didn't even look like a Wonder Weapon, it just looked like a big chunky weapon, and you're like, oh, wait, this is the Wonder Weapon. So overall, not a fan of this map. Not going to dive too much into it. Yeah, just didn't flow well. Nothing about Voyage is good, in my opinion. Outbreak is lackluster. I think it will be higher up on lackluster. I would probably play it over those other experiences. Beast from Beyond? Yeah, I actually probably would. Outbreak is just kind of whatever, in my opinion. It's one of those... I did play it, I think, a lot more than, like... Again, the other actual round-based maps, which is weird because I'm a round-based guy. I actually hate the current COD system they're doing with like Modern Warfare 3 zombies and stuff, but I'll get into that maybe another video or another time when I have more time to speak about it. But This was just like a turn your brain off and grind type of moment, but I didn't mind it. Again, it was just lackluster. Like it didn't do anything really for me. I would usually do it to grind the zombie camos or just see, or just I wanted to shoot zombies for a little bit, but didn't want to play round base for some reason. Because again, I wasn't a huge fan of Cold War mechanics. That system wasn't something that really connected with me. But Outbreak, on the other hand, it felt more like a, I don't know, different experience enough where I enjoyed playing it because I wasn't a huge fan of the round based maps that much, anyways, other than Mauer. So I was just like, you know what? Outbreak's not too bad. It's just pretty boring and lackluster. So I'd play it like once or twice, and then that was enough for me for like the week. It was just just lackluster, man. Roasting House is lackluster, but I'd probably put it over Bus Depot. Uh, it's a good survival map, but again, for me, it's not big enough to actually have fun for me because it's just too small. There's not too much to do. It's a great challenge map every once in a while, but am I going back to it regularly? No. I would probably go back on any of these other four maps than I would Groust and House. Especially if I'm booting up World War II anyways, I would play the Final Reich over Groust and House. I think anyone that says otherwise is delusional. Dead of Night has actually grown on me a lot. At the beginning, I think it was a bad or even a lackluster map. But after playing it more and more, it's actually a good map. Honest to God, I think it is a good map. I think it's going to be bottom of good, almost average. Just because I've only played it solo. And the solo experience of Dead of the Night is the kind of the worst version of playing Dead of the Night, as in the sense co-op, it's usually a bit better, in my honest opinion. Even from playing in a few public games with some pretty chill people, I've had more fun and experience on Dead of the Night public matches than I have solo. But as an overall map, Dead of the Night is fantastic, and I think the BO4 mechanics don't hinder the gameplay too much. I actually am not a huge BO4 mechanics hater. I don't mind the specialist system or even just not having Jug in general. Which is weird, right? Because you probably heard me earlier where you're like, well, how's that different than the World War II system? Where BO4 kind of did a compromise. It gave you an extra, like, a set amount of HP, and using your specialist gave you armor automatically. So instead of Cold War, where you have to, like, spend salvage to get extra armor and stuff, or get little armor plates, um, I like the idea of popping your specialist just automatically gives you armor, and it's not like getting specialist costs you money or anything. Like that's a reward for the player. So, and you constantly get it over and over depending which one you use. So, I honestly I didn't mind that system. I know a lot of people didn't like choosing your own perks for certain maps, but I didn't actually mind that either. Um, Especially since I like the idea of the fourth perk had a special bonus and stuff. Um, there's cool, unique ideas. I do get what people are saying. If it had like different perk system and mechanics, it probably would be higher, in my opinion, honestly. But it didn't actually hinder my gameplay and fun with the map at all. In fact, I still had a lot of fun with Dead of the Night. There's literally so much you can do on Dead of the Night. The Easter egg was great. The wonder weapons are great. Um, the vampire and werewolf, the werewolf boss fight was awesome, and just even the setting of the map was great. It's just big issue with it is that they didn't hype that map at all, and I think the storyline fell a little short because it was a cast of somewhat um, popular actors, but it didn't have the charm that Call of the Dead or Mob of the Dead had. So it just kind of fell a little short compared to those other two experiences where they had a celebrity cast and just kind of like off throwaway characters. So, in my honest opinion, they did like the worst out of those three type of ideas of having a celebrity cast. And yeah, the marketing was just absolutely terrible for this map. So, but even that, it's still a fun map to play. I think it deserves its good. Horizon's S. Do I even need to explain it? Horizon's an S. Do I like it more than Spaceland? Yes. Do I like it more than Origins? This is the tough one. People usually get pissed on. Um, I prefer Origins. No, honestly, I think I actually do prefer Horizon. And I'm only saying Horizon because of the boss fight, and I think the steps to upgrading the bows is really cool visually and gameplay wise. Especially the wolf bow, especially in terms of my opinion, the wolf bow having like its own story of like and origins to upgrading the bow is freaking badass. And I wish kind of all the bows were like that. And they have hints of it, but not too much, like not as clear as the wolf bow did. Um, where the origin staffs kind of didn't. They were just like random mumbo jumbo you would do around the map. Um, Same with Horizon. Horizon did that too, but my example there is at least the wolf bow. It felt like a story of why you're upgrading it and what this bow meant to this person that you were upgrading it. Like, not for, but using their broken arrow and upgrading your bow for it type of thing. And yeah, the boss fight, great. Um, the flow of the map's great. Wonder weapons are great. Everything about Horizon's fantastic, and there's like not much bad to say about Horizon, honestly. Doris is, I think, better than Kino, but they yeah, I'll put them in A, great tier. I don't think they're S. I wouldn't. I know a lot of people say Doris is the best zombies map of all time. I don't think that's true. Neither with Kino. I don't think that's true. I think they're up there though in terms of if I was ranking it off bare bones maps. I think yeah, both of those would be in S tier. But fortunately, zombies has come such a long way that um, I just don't think they're S tier anymore. Especially going back and playing them, even the giant or any version of Doris. It's still great, and I still have so much fun playing it. It's such a relaxing, iconic, nostalgic game mode. Same with Kino. I think they're pretty much equal in my opinion. I don't have one that I like more than the other. Um, they're just both great, honestly. Especially since I love BO1 the most. BO1's my favorite game, but Doris is still, I think, a better zombies map for me, anyways. But yeah, is it better than Moon? I don't think so. There's more stuff to do on Moon in my opinion, and I like the huge difference between Doris and Moon. I don't know. That's why I like all these maps. They're very very different in terms of the stuff you can do, just how big the maps are, and just yeah, Easter egg and stuff like that. So that's my opinion. I think Doris and Kino are both in the A tier. Moon's almost S. Speaking of almost S, I think 9 is almost S as well. I'm going to put it above Doris and Kino der Toten. 9 has grown on me significantly. I love 9. 9 is fantastic. Um, Playing it more and more, I enjoy the map more and more. It's such a simple concept of it being an arena and being just like kind of a giant circle, and you can run around on bridges all the way around type of thing. Well, not all the way around. If you went underneath the map, you could go all the way around, but on top you can go from like two tower sections of the gods, and then you could cut through the middle, and then go from these two. Yeah, it's like a giant X, but it also has an underground system that's like a giant circle in terms of the map layout is what I'm speaking about. But yeah, everything about Nine's great. The wonder weapon being a giant like scorpion weapon thing, and you shoot it and it like shocks all the zombies. So it's like ugh, Wonder Waff. Sorry, I was trying to think of the wonder weapon it was similar to, and it's kind of similar to the Wonder Waff in a sense, with just the electricity and it shocks multiple zombies and kills them. But it also just looks fucking badass and looks really cool. Most of the characters also on 9 look fucking badass, look really cool. 9 is just a badass map. It just looks awesome, feels awesome, and it's just a great map. Even the gauntlets and the other weird modes they had on 9, I always liked them on 9 the most. 9 was great. Challenge Shuffle. Even though I'm an Infinite Warfare Zombies lover, as in I really like zombies on Infinite Warfare, I have to say it is lackluster, and I think I will put it Would I play this over Descent? Yes, but I don't think... Would I play over the Final Reich? Probably, actually. I think I've played this more than the Final Reich. I'm not a huge Challenge Shuffle fan at all, but I think the Beast of Beyond's... No, it's not better than Shaolin. I've had more fun on Shaolin with the goofy Kung Fu. Even the boss fight on Shaolin's pretty good, to be fair. I just think everything else about Shaolin's a little messy. The map flow and the map layout of the map's pretty bad, and the Easter egg's not fantastic, except for the ending. The ending and the boss fight are great on Challenge Shuffle. So that's what really carries it, to be honest. But the Easter egg's complicated, takes too much stuff. There's so many weird little stuff to do. But the overall Kung Fu abilities, they're silly and goofy, but they are pretty fun to use, especially when you upgrade them. But yeah, honestly, the Kung Fu really carries that map for me anyways. God, we still have so many maps to go. Farm. Another base bones map. I'm going to put this in lackluster here. Would I play Farm over Descent? Probably not. I would put Farm there. I think that's a good spot. There's not much to say about Farm. It's part of the transit. Survival maps. Base bones. Way better than Bus Depot. I think I played more Farm than Grouse and House. So I would probably play Farm over those two. But it's pretty lackluster. It's pretty forgettable. Zetsubo. Started down here when it first came out because it was just glitchy and bad, but I think it's actually a good map. I'm going to put it to the top of good. Do I like it? I don't think I like it more than Revelations. No, I actually don't. But I'll put it middle good tier. I think it's a good map. What really weighs it down, in my opinion, are the boss fights. The boss fights are just kind of lame. Especially like the final boss fight. Honestly, I thought the spider would have been a better final boss fight than the weird middle of the Easter egg boss fight. I'm glad that we got a middle mini Easter egg where we kill a giant spider and get Widow's Wine. Also, I'm still bitter with this, but this is my honest opinion. They should have done Zetsubo first, then Shadows of Evil. I'm not saying that because I think it would have been a better map or a better fit, but I feel like that would have been a better way to introduce the new perk Widow's Wine, especially since you fight this giant spider, you kill him for this Easter egg, but you also get Widow's Wine for free. And I just think if that was our first introduction to the new perk where it was free and you could just drink it and you get the first experience of Widow's Wine, I think honestly that would tremendously change how we feel about Widow's Wine and the map. But that's just my opinion. I honestly thought Zetsubo should have been the one that introduced Widow's Wine as a perk and as a concept, but I'm glad it is on Shadows of Evil. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad that it's on Shadows of Evil, or I don't think it's a fantastic perk. I just think it would have made more sense. But that's just me. But yeah, the KT4 is great, actually. It's one of my more favorite wonder weapons in the BL3 system. And the Specialist Skull was pretty good on Zetsubo too. There's just a lot of good stuff on Zetsubo, but the plant system could have been a little better. Fighters are weird and whatever, but yeah, that's pretty much it about Zetsubo. I think it's overall a good map. Frozen Dawn is freaking so bad, bro. God, what a bad map Frozen Dawn is. What is there to say about Frozen Dawn? Not much. It is freaking terrible, man. Oh, I should have changed Voyage too. I would play Voyage over Darkest Shore. That makes more sense. Yeah, Frozen Dawn's... Honestly, actually, it's painful. Who am I kidding? It's painful. There's nothing good to say about Frozen Dawn. Not good. Next, we got Town. Ooh, nice. So Town's a weird one. Mostly because it's a very good bare bones map, but does it deserve up here? 'tis the question. I think it's good. I'll put it in good. I think it's better than Noct. I would probably play Zetsubo and Revelations over it, but Town's is a good map. In terms of bare bones, Town is very, very good. Especially for BO2, having some of the worst survival maps, Town is 100% years better than the other Bus Depot and Farm and some other one I'm forgetting about. We'll talk about later probably. But no, Town, fond memories of Town, good layout. The lava is kind of what brings it down, to be honest. If there was no lava, I think it would be higher. But you could argue that's the challenge of Town, but Town is actually way better as a separate map than it is in transit, so funny how that works. Outbreak. So this is not Cold War Outbreak. This is Exo Zombies Outbreak, which is the first Exo map. And to be honest, I think it's average. Would I play Die Rise over it? Yes. But I think Outbreak was the best version of Exo Zombies, even though it was just kind of thrown together and it's not even really that good of a map. It's just the mechanics were so new and interesting at the time. And actually the spawn area for Outbreak works really, really well, to be fair. It's heavily favored towards the actual Exo movement. There's a couple spots on the map that work really well for the Exo movement. I just think overall the mechanics of Outbreak kind of bring it down a little bit, even though some of it makes it pretty damn good. At the same time, it also brings it down a little bit. I just think overall it could have been better. The dog infected, the infected round or whatever is terrible. You just have to camp at the decontamination area and just like spray yourselves over and over. It's just not great. Pack punch system's bad. Kind of talked about that a little bit. Just, yeah, I think Outbreak's average. Low average, almost lackluster. Torture Path is painful. I hate this. These two, yeah. What am I doing? These are way higher up. These are way better than, freaking Exo. What would I play more? I'd play the Frozen Dawn more than the Torture Path. Torture Path was terrible. It was like stupid little challenges. It wasn't like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like early Outbreak where it made you do a bunch of dumb challenges and you only did like 10 waves and then there was the boss fight and that was it. That was the map. It was just really odd. It was an odd choice, and not only that, it just wasn't fun or interesting. So overall, just there's nothing good to say about the Torture Path. We're gonna carry on. We got Carrier here. Carrier. Carrier is I think Carrier. Where's Descent? I think. Funny enough, actually, I think I actually enjoy Carrier more than Descent, just because I have more fond memories of Carrier, and I played Carrier a lot more than Descent. I think they're pretty equal in terms of actual gameplay, mechanics, and stuff, but I have more fond memories on Carrier than I do Descent. Not too sure why. I think I just actually like the map layout a little bit more, and I like the Plinko ball where you could shoot a nade, and then it plays a little Plinko ball game. I would just sit there for like hours. I loved it. Honestly, the Plinko ball thing kind of carried Carrier to me, and the teleport grenade. I actually like that thing too. Yeah, I think Carrier's better than Descent, to be honest. 5 is a good map. I would be as far as to say, I think it's top of good. It's just behind Kino in my opinion, but Kino and 5 are pretty even. Like, they're almost the exact same for me. I played so much Kino in 5. I'm a Black Ops 1 lover. If you couldn't really tell, all my Black Ops games or maps are pretty damn high, except for like Ascension. But now, man, 5 is great. The only really downside to it, in my honest opinion, is the Wonder Weapon. Everything else about it is great. It actually introduced a new power up, which was called the bonfire sail, which pretty much was like a fire sail but for pack punch, and it made packing only 1,000 money or points. It was freaking awesome. The boss was awesome. The doctor, the scientist, sorry, who takes your weapon and then he just tries to run away. If you actually killed him before he took your weapon, you got the bonfire sail. The map layout was pretty good. The characters were iconic. Overall, it was actually just a fun map to play, to be fair. I really like 5. Attack of the Radioactive Thing. Probably my least favorite. One of my least favorite. Where's Lackluster? I think it's the top of Lackluster for me. I do think it's better than Challenge Shuffle just because the boss fight mostly. Actually, would I play Outbreak over it? Yeah, I'd play. Honestly, I play more Infinite Zombies than Cold War. I'm gonna move Outbreak a little bit further back. Yeah, actually, the only really bad thing I don't like about Radioactive Thing is kind of a similar thing with Ascension. I didn't really talk about it, but the black and white at the beginning until you turn the power on is just a weird decision. Especially if you played the map multiple times. I feel like they should just have an option where that's not a thing, personally. But other than that, yeah, the Easter egg's quite hard, but to be fair, the boss fight's really fun. I do like the boss fight. I think it's really good, the boss fight. Yeah, Easter egg itself not very good though. It makes you do like chemical stuff. I mean, it's cool and neat that they actually like took time to do like actual, I don't even know how to describe it, formulas and stuff, I guess, in a zombies. It was kind of neat because you had to make a bomb and then put it into the... I just think the boss fight really well done. Kind of carries it. The one weapon was kind of cool. Had a lot of downsides to it though, to be honest. And the map layout's okay. The map flow could work a little bit better in my opinion. Because once you get like most of the map open, you don't really go to too many of the spots. You just kind of train the same 2 or 3 spots that are trainable. But yeah, I think it's a top of Lackluster, almost average map, to be honest. Shadows of Evil is a... I think it's a great map. To be honest, I hated Shadows of Evil at first. And I'm still not a huge Shadows fan. It's going the back of great. Shadows of Evil to me is more fun as a co-op experience. I can't stand it solo. I would rather play Mob of the Dead than Shadows. I was always a Mob of the Dead fan, in my honest opinion. So Shadows kind of felt like a cheap copy of it, in my opinion. I know that Treyarch put a lot of effort into Shadows, and it is a beautiful looking map. And it plays... I just wish it played a little bit better. I don't really like the teleport back and forth and back and forth and back and forth thing. It just... I don't really just like seeing the orange portal over and over and over again. But that's also the best way to move around the map. I know some people really do enjoy that, but me personally, I just don't. The wonder weapon's really good. The Apothecon Servant's obviously like one of the best wonder weapons because it's just based off the Gersh device. It's just a reskinned Gersh, but a weapon that has more ammo and I think a wider range or something a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty damn cool. You were used to able to pack punch it, which was also flippin' awesome, but then it was actually turned out to be a later feature, spoilers for a future map that which was Revelations. Yeah, a little bit of inside knowledge for the OGs, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge... It's grown on me a lot, but again, the issue with Shadows for me is I don't really like opening... It's just not a fun solo experience, and I'm mostly a solo player, especially since you can't really do the Easter egg solo. Like, you can, but you also can't. Like, you can't watch the cutscene. You need 4 people. It's just kind of lame. A lot of good side Easter eggs. I just think the map flow's a little weird, personally. I understand that there is a lot of portals, so it is very easy to move around. I just don't like going through that center hub, going through it and through it. It's kind of a similar issue with Revelations, to be honest. It's kind of my issue, is just going from portal to portal. It's like, okay, it's just, I don't know. to me, it's just kind of gets repetitive, and it's just kind of like, ugh, like I'm going through the portal again. But that's just me. The machine is average. Actually, where'd I put Knocked? I think it's just a slightly worse version of Knocked, to be honest. I think they're pretty damn similar, because they're literally the same map. But D Machine's Wonder Weapons just feel a little bit off to me. They're just not that fun to use. Like, they do a lot of damage, and they're actually good Wonder Weapons. I don't know, just something about it feels off to me. It just feels like a Paralyzer and, I'm trying to think of what else, like, what other weapon it's like, where it just shoots. It's like kind of like a Thunder Gun and a Paralyzer together. It's cool, but it just looks fat and chunky and clunky. I don't really like it. The elements for it are kind of weak too, to be fair. Like the original Wonder Weapon, the whatever it's called, the die. I don't even know what it's called. The Wonder Weapon, without actually upgrading it, is like the strongest version of it. To be honest, like it's kind of weird. I don't know. That's how I felt, anyways. Every time I played that map, I would just get the Wonder Weapon and not have a need to get the upgrades unless I'm doing the Easter egg. Easter egg was okay. It was kind of whatever. The story was non-existent in that game, so the Easter egg was just kind of whatever. Protecting the dude was kind of annoying too in this final steps of that Easter egg. I think overall, just D Machine could have been better, especially since D Machine's the weird mixture of a bare bones map because it's based off Knock, but with extra areas. But the Easter egg isn't fun enough to continually do it over and over again. Honestly, the best part about D Machine, to be honest, is the coffin Easter egg, but that's just me. Firebase Z is lackluster. I don't like Firebase Z. I would probably play it over Outbreak. Is that even true? I don't think that's true, actually. I wouldn't play it over Outbreak. Firebase Z just is weird to me. I don't like the map layout of Firebase Z. I think it's pretty lazy, especially since they give you the pack in like the first room and a Wonder Fizz. There's like no reason to leave the spawn area. I mean, there is a reason because training there is not great. It's good for camping, that's about it, which is very also easy to do on Cold War, so if you wanted to play like that, you could. The side Easter eggs are cool. Main Easter eggs kind of mid. It's just got like the story of Cold War just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Except for Mauer. I think Mauer brought it a little bit up, but then it went down again at Forsaken. I don't know. The story for Cold War is just kind of non-existent. Not really good. And the gameplay of Firebase Z is just not good either. The side Easter egg was cool with the bunny thing, where you go in this little room and then, you know, the secret bunny Easter egg. Main Easter eggs, whatever. I just think the gameplay of it's also not very good. Just the weird TP, and then the main area is not great. The only really redeeming thing about Firebase Z is the Wonder Weapon, the Ray K, but then they also nerfed it for a bunch of like no reason for some reason. They just nerfed it a bunch, so it made it like completely trash, which I never really understood why they balance zombies. The whole point of a Wonder Weapon is for the Wonder Weapon to be somewhat strong, or at least, you know, if the Wonder Weapon sucks, you know, usually the map gets taken down a little bit by it. Like 5, for example. I think 5 would be in a higher place than it already is if it had a good Wonder Weapon like Moons, whereas the DG3s or 4s are not the Mark III ray guns, the dual wield zap guns. Sorry, that's what they're called. The zap guns are phenomenal on Moon, but the Frozen gun, I'm blanking on the name. Whatever. The Wonder Weapon on 5's not good, so it brings it down a lot. I kind of feel like the same thing with Firebase Z. It used to be really good, and then they nerfed it a bunch for no reason. I don't know why zombie maps get nerfed or buffed. Not a fan of that, to be honest. Alpha Omega. Alpha Omega. Alpha Omega. Where do I put Alpha? I think it's lackluster, but where do I put this? Because I'm not really a big fan of Firebase Z. I mean, Alpha Omega. I would probably put it... probably probably here. I would play it over World War II, but it's mostly because if I was on BO4 and someone said they wanted to play Alpha Omega, I'd be like, sure, you know, we're already on the game. Where World War II, I usually booted up to play Final Reich, and that's about it. Where BO4 has some other good maps, like 9, that I would definitely play more of those maps than this map, but if I'm already on BO4, I'd probably pop it on once. Alpha Omega's weird. It's based off Nuketown Zombies. I'm not even a big fan of normal Nuketown Zombies, to be perfectly honest. And I don't think the remake did it any real favors. I think the ray guns in concept were cool. Like, different variants of ray guns were pretty neat. I don't think the map, like, letting us go in the bunker or anything did much. The Easter egg was kind of whatever. It wasn't great. Overall, I just think this map had a lot of random-ass pieces together. Like, the codes and everything about that. Yeah, it just felt flat. Not a big fan of Alpha Omega. Kind of wish it was a little better, but Mob of the Dead is my favorite map in Call of Duty Zombies history. Whoa. Yeah, this isn't getting changed. Not at all. Not only is Mob of the Dead such a unique map and flow to it, it's such a fun flow play style. It has also just enough difficulty and stuff, even though things feel repetitive on Mob of the Dead, like you get all the plane parts. What I like more about Mob than I do Shadows is that, for me, getting the plane parts in itself feels like a mini Easter egg, to the point, but when you complete it, it's very rewarding. So, like, in the sense that Shadows, you do the rituals to unlock Pack-a-Punch, where Mob of the Dead does the exact same thing. I think Mob of the Dead, the Golden Gate Bridge, is a much more rewarding location to be in than just going into an underground, like, pit where you can wall ride to the pack. Although the pack in Shadows is really cool, I just think Mob of the Dead's building the plane and finally going to the Golden Gate Bridge is iconic, and just, even though it feels like the end of the map, like you finally beat the map, because it takes you so long to go through Alcatraz to find all the hidden things using the afterlife system, which I also love. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute while I go on this rant. But when you finally get to the Golden Gate Bridge, you finally build the plane, you fly it, and you crash, you feel like, oh, that's the end of the map. And then you see the electric chairs at the very back, and it says you can escape. And then when you finally shock, or when you're done packing or doing whatever, you get sent back. And that is freaking awesome, dude. What a smart idea. And it's just so, it feels like you're trapped. Like, no matter what these characters do, no matter what they've done, they're just stuck in this loop, in this purgatory forever. And just the fact that it's based off the real Alcatraz, and it's just such a fun map to explore and play. It also introduced Electric Cherry, which is one of my favorite perks. Overall, Mob of the Dead's just goated, man. In my opinion, it's the it is the perfect map in terms of it has everything I want. Difficult side Easter eggs. The Easter eggs fun, but not too difficult. Fun gameplay. The wonder weapons are great, like the Hell's Retriever, Hell's Redeemer, / Blundergat, the Golden Spork. There's so many fun, unique items on that map, and it's freaking fantastic, man. I love everything about Mob. How fitting. We're talking about the remake of Mob of the Dead, which is way worse than Mob of the Dead. But actually, funny enough, I think it's actually in the top of average. So why do I think Blood is this high? Now, this might be Mob of the Dead biasy, because I'm such a big fan of Mob of the Dead. Most of Blood of the Dead is just a remake of Mob of the Dead. So there's a couple new added areas and stuff, but if you play Blood of the Dead, you're still gonna really be in the same areas as Mob of the Dead. They're still the best camping / training areas. The new areas don't add much except for like Easter egg steps and or just different little bit of new features and stuff. I think the Magma Gat is really cool, and actually doing the the upgrade thing for the Magma Gat is really cool. I just think what really brings Blood of the Dead down is the shield and the Easter egg. While the Easter egg is beautiful, as in there's a lot of in-game cutscenes and there's a lot of hard work into it, and I appreciate that. The actual Easter egg steps are not really rewarding or fulfilling. It's only really rewarding because you get to see some more cool in-game cutscenes and in-game dialogue. That's really what carries Blood, especially the ending cutscene really carries it pretty damn hard. But there's a lot of good things about Blood of the Dead, I think. It's just shadows because Mob of the Dead is such a masterpiece that this is a pretty big letdown, as in the sense it's not even close to Mob of the Dead in my opinion. But I think it's actually still an average good map, especially if you're just playing for gameplay or anything. It's still pretty damn fun because it's mostly just Mob of the Dead, but with a couple new added stuff. And then new shield, although it's not as iconic as the original Mob of the Dead one. I actually don't mind the Spectre shield with the key. I think it's pretty damn cool that we use the Warden key for our shield. I think it's pretty sick. And that's kind of our new afterlife system. Once you got used to it, I think it was actually pretty damn fun, in my opinion. Again, I just hate that the pack moves so much and there's no Golden Gate Bridge. I feel like it kind of ruins the map a little bit, in my opinion. But there is still some good things about it. Shinonuma is also going in the average category. I actually like Shino a damn lot. I don't think it's better than Mauer, though. You're probably confused. You're like, you would play Shino over Ascension and Die Rise? Yes, I have more fond memories and enjoyment just going for high rounds on Shinonuma. Now, Easter eggs don't essentially mean this is why I like a map more. I'm not a big Easter egg guy, even though I consider Easter eggs in some of my rankings, based on my rankings. But, you know, this was a base bones World at War map, so I'm not gonna like judge it off the Easter eggs because there like was none, in my opinion. Well, that's how I rate it. That's how I feel about it. But even as a bare bones map, Shinonuma is a super fun experience to go back and play. So much to the fact they've remade this map like 3 or 4 different times. If you consider World at War, Black Ops 1, Chronicles. They had a different mobile version on COD Mobile for it, and then they also had it in Vanguard, so that's like 5 different versions of it. My opinion, I always played BO1 version the most. I think BO3 Chronicles makes it look the prettiest, but I'm still not a huge fan of BO3 mechanics for a World at War map. I think World at War is the best for gameplay, 100%. I just played a lot of BO1, so I had more time on BO1. It's not that that's the version I prefer, that's just the one I played more time on, more games of. Especially since BO1 did this weird thing where they unpatched some glitches when they patched them originally on the World at War version, so I don't know what happened there. Just random little piece of info for you guys. Mobile version was pretty unique, and then the Vanguard version was kind of... well, the Vanguard version. Yeah, no, I think it's a good average map. I would probably play it over Ascension and Die Rise, and that's mostly because there's so many different versions of it as well. Transit is an absolutely bad map. I'm going to put it top of bad, almost lackluster. Transit is a fun map co-op, but me saying that doesn't mean it's a good map. It's a bad map. Just because you're suffering it with friends, it becomes a bit more tolerable, as most zombies experiences. Some of them are perfectly made for solo, and some of them are kind of made for co-op. Like Dead of the Night is a co-op based map. Like, it's more focused for having a team of players than just yourself. Where most of these maps can be played solo, some of them are more fun or enjoyed, in my opinion, with more people. Transit is definitely one of those times where if I'm playing solo Transit, I'm playing it once, and if I die early, it's over. I don't want to redo it again. There's a lot of setup, a lot of time wasted. It's a super giant map, but it doesn't feel great going around it because you just ride on this little bus. The all these different upgrades feel completely useless. I liked what they were trying to do, where each area had some unique aspect to it, but it just felt cluttered and too much stuff was added that some of the stuff was just way worse, and they relied too much on the turbine. Like, there wasn't enough equipment slots, in my opinion, especially because they had so many different equipment that it just didn't work. Especially since half of them required the turbine too, like the setup turrets or the electric trap, or like they had a bunch of different equipment, but the issue was you needed a turbine. So you either needed to bring your turbine, camp in the area with like the setup turret or whatever the other equipment, put it down the other equipment, and then put your turbine, and just pray to God your turbine doesn't die, which it eventually will because it runs out, which again also I think is stupid. Also, zombies can attack it and break it. There's just a lot of issues with transit, and I feel like they could have even fixed some of them just by doing mini updates or upgrades to some of that stuff. Like, maybe make a little mini Easter egg in the game where your turbine just doesn't run out of power, but it can still break to the zombies. Like, I feel like something like that would have been nice, or anything like that. Transit just needed a lot more love and updates, and it just didn't get any, so it unfortunately is a bad map. The Giant. I think it's the back of good. I like the Giant, but it's definitely the worst version of Doris, in my opinion. I would rather play the World at War or the BO1 version over the Giant, but I still like the Giant. I think what really makes the Giant less is it doesn't really add anything, and the stuff it does add is like the Annihilator. Like, no one likes the Annihilator, it's just whatever. And the stamina and deadshot thing, I'm not actually huge, like, I don't hate the idea of it, I just hate the setup for it. So the setup is you just gotta get monkey bombs from the box, chuck it in the teleporter, then use the teleporter 3 times. It's just like a lot of work, and then half the time it's not really worth it because it'll be deadshot rather than stamina. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I kind of wish there was an easier way to do that one. But the Annihilator one's pretty easy to do. It's just not really worth it. The only real reason you would do the Annihilator Easter egg on the Giant was because it gave you a bunch of XP. But it also counted towards the main Easter eggs for some reason. Like, if you wanted to do the ultimate Easter egg in Revelations, you needed to do all the Easter eggs in a row, and the Giant counted for some reason. Don't ask me why. Buried, a freaking great map. It's gonna go top of good. I think Moon is better, but Buried is very close. It's almost actually a perfect map. Buried is a very interesting, flow-heavy map. I think the Paralyzer carries this map just because in terms of uniqueness and game style, you can play so much versatile in terms of what you can do with the Paralyzer. It's flippin' great. Everything about it is great. Even though some people say it's easy, it's not actually that easy. Like, you still gotta do a lot of equipment setup and a lot of equipment building, and you can just camp in the jug area because it's just a straight line, but I kinda like that. I've always liked that. Even in Doris, I like that, so that playstyle's never bothered me. So I guess if you're a train, like if you like to train, Buried's not a great map for you because it's pretty close quartered and there's not like anywhere to train really. But I just like it. The atmosphere, the wonder weapons, the side Easter eggs, the main Easter egg. I think Buried overall is like the perfect way they could have ever ended the transit cruise. Premise? Is that what they're called? Premise? I don't remember the official name. It's Primus, Ultimus, something like that. Something like that. I think it's the perfect end to those characters. Officially. Well, not... Okay, in BO2, as in Jimmy Zielinski's, the game director of Zombies at the time, it was his official last map. So, I think he ended it off on a banger. Personally. Tag, a remake of Call of the Dead. I think Tag is actually a good map. I would probably put Zetzbo above it, but I actually do like Tag Der Tone a lot. Actually, funny enough, Tag is my second highest played. No, that's not true. Third highest played map in BO4, and that's mostly because I'm a huge Call of the Dead lover. I think Call of the Dead's fantastic, so I'll get into ranking that in a minute here. But Tag, it doesn't really necessarily improve some of the issues I have with Call of the Dead, but what they do is improve some of the BO4 mechanic issues I had. And some of the side Easter eggs are freaking amazing. Especially the... I don't know how to say this one without like spoiling it, but if you know, you know. If you play Tag, you know. It's a hidden flinger can fling you a certain direction through a certain cave, and then you'll see this really cool image of a giant planet. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, look it up. It's friggin' awesome. Yeah, just even the atmosphere of Tag brings me so much joy, because it's actually one of the most beautiful maps I think we've ever gotten in Cod Zombies history. And I mean that wholeheartedly. It's the skybox, the lighting, everything about this map is fantastic. The map itself does feel a little clunky, but some of the side Easter eggs like the Golden Pack Punch really help me enjoy this map more on the BO4 experience, especially Gold Pack. I love Gold Pack in that whole little area. I actually do like the factory up above, and I know a lot of people have said they hated like their boss fight or the last part of the Easter egg, where you just kind of have to survive throughout the whole map in this like small little circle, but I actually really did enjoy it. I think it was really, really fun, and then seeing the whole map transform into this like lava version of it. Spoilers, I guess, but it's been out for a long ass time now. I don't know. Tag has a special place in my heart because it's just Call of the Dead, but BO4 mechanics, and some BO4 mechanics do make it pretty fun in my opinion. Again, I said way earlier in this video, I don't hate BO4 mechanics. I think it gets overhated. Oh, Call of the Dead. How funny how that works. I think Call of the Dead is a great map. I'm gonna put it top of great. It's almost S for me, personally. The only issue I have with Call of the Dead really is the lighting and stuff, but again, that's not their fault. It was on BO1. They're limited to what they could do, so they had to add in fog and stuff, but even with the fog, it's a pretty ass map. I wish the scavenger was a bit better as a wonder weapon, especially since it's one of the sickest, coolest, badass wonder weapons we ever gotten, but the damage doesn't really reflect that. VR11's a unique weapon, probably the most unique one we've ever gotten during the BO1 days. Like, it's really damn unique and cool. So I think that really helped with innovation towards future wonder weapons and just what wonder weapons could do. So I do appreciate the VR11. And just the map layout's fantastic. The cast is fantastic. George Romero, rest in peace. One of the GOATs. And as a zombie boss, he's terrifying, good, and just creepy. I remember as a kid, me first getting the DLC for Call of the Dead, and I thought it was the most terrifying thing, seeing George Romero come out the water, just, oh, come here. Fantastic. Everything about that map is great. It's almost perfect. I just wish some things were tweaked. Even the BO3 version is freaking beautiful, especially since if you have BO3 on PC, there's a free workshop map of it. It is absolutely beautiful, fantastic, and they also fixed the scavenger to make it do unlimited damage. It's great. Ancient Evil. It's actually also going in the great tier. I freaking love Ancient Evil. I think it goes here. Ancient Evil is a beautiful, fantastic map, and I think it's super duper underrated. A lot of people don't give this map enough credit for what it did. Not only did it make the Chaos storyline for / the BO4 crew, or BO4 main characters, so much more interesting. Like, they were interesting, but the issue is they didn't have enough maps for people to really, really care. Like, they liked 9, and they thought the story of 9 was cool. Voyage of Despair, people didn't like the map, and they didn't really like the story, so that brought their story down again. Like, it's kind of like trying to balance each other out. And then we got uh, Dead of the Night, which again was a prequel to that, so it didn't really give them much depth. And then Chaos was already on their last map, which was Ancient Evil. And for like the final map, they pulled all the stops, man. They made people care and interested in the Chaos storyline. It was an interesting way to end it, and they kind of ended it on a cliffhanger, kind of, but not really at the same time. It was such a cool, unique idea, and I'm kind of mad we didn't get any more Chaos, but at the same time, it was such a beautiful, fantastic map. Like, man, the map itself looks beautiful. The shield is beautiful. The bosses are cool, unique. The wonder weapons are some of the best wonder weapons we've gotten in terms of elemental and just the way you level them up, and their own little sections of how to use the power. It teaches you how to use the wonder weapon. It's fantastic, man. Honestly, I wish more people gave Ancient Evil a chance. Honest to God. Rave in the Redwoods. Rave is a good map, in my opinion. It's an average. We'll put it at the top of average. Rage, again, suffers a similar issue, as in it's a massive downgrade from Zombies in Spaceland. It just felt like Rave was missing some little key parts. I actually do like the crossbows a lot. I know a lot of people said they were lazy. It was just Horizon Drac all over again. But I actually really did like the crossbows and the way they played. I thought the boss was pretty cool, the slasher, especially his boss fight. His boss fight's one of the most fun I actually had in a Zombies boss fight. I also think his special wonder weapon, like the chainsaw, was really fucking badass. And playing as Kevin Spacey, and his melee attack was a hockey stick. As a Canadian, I love that. Fantastic. I think Rave is overall a good map, a big trip. I think what suffers the most in Rave in the Redwoods, to be honest, is the map layout. The map layout, to me, is absolutely abysmal in Rave in the Redwoods. It doesn't feel fun to navigate this map at all. It actually feels, like, terrible. It kind of discourages you to not explore the map just from random bullshit. Like, they have, like, this wall climbing section where you gotta wall climb to get, like, a part, or just go down, and it's just super slow. It's not good. Yeah, just like weird shit like that. Even going to the pack is on a separate island, but the boat is like slow as humanly possible. I know they did that for like the dramatic build for the final Easter egg step, where, spoiler I guess, they reveal that Kevin Spacey, the celebrity cast of the map, he was the slasher / the main villain boss, chasing you the whole time, because he's gone insane from killing his best friend, because they're both stuck in movie hell, pretty much, where they're stuck in a movie forever. Yeah, no, great. I love Rave. I wish the map layout was a bit better, and that's honestly it, to be honest. I think it would be a lot better of a map, higher regarded. I actually did like the Easter egg too. Classified. I don't think it's painful. Don't think it's bad. Don't think it's lackluster. Would I say average or good? I put it in good. I'm a big fan of 5, so I think Classified is, again, kind of a downgrade compared to 5, in my opinion. But Classified has enough unique things of its own to be just like a fun experience. I think gameplay wise, it carries itself pretty damn high, because I actually do like the gameplay of Classified. I think the biggest issue is the main Easter egg is to get to around 100, which is absolutely stupid, especially since it's not even that good of a cutscene and it doesn't even make that much sense. I think the gameplay is great and fun, but again, they don't really add too much to it to make it different from 5, in my opinion. They also don't even change the wonder weapon that much from Classified. I mean, from 5 to Classified, in my honest opinion. I do think the side Easter egg of knocking on the door of the scientist, because the scientist isn't on that map, because the Classified takes place before 5. And seeing the scientist before he becomes insane is pretty damn awesome. But yeah, no, I just wish Classified just had a little bit more of an identity, because it just feels kind of like a BO4 version of 5, in my opinion. Go Rod. Oh god, I'm gonna get heat probably for this one. I think Go Rod Crovey. I think it's the top of average. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers and a lot of Zombies players put Go Rod in their top. They think Go Rod's amazing. I don't personally think that. The more I actually play Go Rod, the more I dislike it. In the sense that I just hate the main Easter egg. I don't like the Easter egg at all. I find the trophy collectathon of just doing a bunch of different side things just annoying. And maybe that's due to some other maps like down here having a similar thing, a similar issue. I just don't like that main Easter egg type style where you just do a bunch of random shit. Not all of it's like that. I'm not saying the whole Easter egg is, but there's like literally some weird parts where it's like the computer's like, I need a mangler sample. So you would assume you would kill a mangler and bring it to her or whatever, but they're instead, to make it more challenging, they're like, one of these manglers are a special quote-unquote mangler, and you have to drag him to the specific spot to kill him, which I just find is kind of dumb. I just kind of wish you could kill him. Same with this one of these robots. They need a robot, and so you have to escort this robot without the zombies attacking it, which is weird because like all the other robots are evil and want to kill you, but randomly this good one, the zombies just randomly know to attack it. I don't know. It's just random bullshit like that. This makes me a little bit annoyed. I think the shield is good. I'm not a huge fan of the map layout itself. I think the Mark III is a fantastic weapon, and PPSH back in BO3 is pretty damn cool. The pack camo is pretty cool. I don't like riding the dragon too much to pack every time. It's a little slow, repetitive, and annoying. Mangler's a decent boss, enemy boss type. I don't know. There's just not enough in Go Rod that makes it super duper appealing for me to keep coming back to it. There's just something missing for it for me personally. I just don't like it as much as I like Moon or any of these other maps, in my opinion. But that's just me. Shangri-La is pretty average. Low average. In terms of graphics and how beautiful it is, it's perfect. But in terms of gameplay, Shangri-La is just average for me. The only real decent thing about Shangri-La, in my opinion, is the wonder weapon and the graphics. The main Easter egg is also pretty damn cool. It's not fun to play, but the story behind it is very interesting and cool. I like everything about Shangri-La. I just don't actually like playing on Shangri-La, which is the main issue for Zombies experience, is you mostly play Zombies for the gameplay. The story and everything else comes a little bit after that, in my opinion, because even if the story's great and everything like that, if the actual gameplay is fucking terrible, it's just not a fun experience, in my opinion. It's just not fun to keep coming back to it over and over again, especially since if you learn the story once, like Blood of the Dead story is pretty damn good, especially the cutscenes and everything. But the issue is, when the Easter egg steps and everything like that is annoying, obnoxious, not fun to do, it kind of clears people away from trying to do it again or improve your time or anything like that. I just think Shangri-La needed some touch-ups, which it unfortunately just didn't get, in my opinion. Affection. I can't believe this is even on this list. It's going the bottom. I would rather play Extinction than Infection. Infection is the worst Zombies map ever made. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm not even giving it the light of day. Infection Zombies fucking sucks. Oh my god. It's terrible. It's like one of the only maps that locks you out. It forces you to do escort missions that aren't fun. It's just annoying. The weapon's not good at all. Is there even a weapon? I don't even fucking remember it. This map is just so forgettable, so bad. All I remember is the crocodiles in the underwater section trap thing. That's about it. It's a fucking bad map, man. You make a fucking burger in the Easter egg. I'm moving on. Verrucht is a good map. I actually really like Verrucht. Where would I put it? I'd probably put it behind Noct, in my opinion. I would probably play Verrucht over these three, in my opinion. Yeah. Not for real. I actually do like it. Verrect is, especially the World at War version specifically, very spooky, very fun. Again, the Winter's Howl. Oh, that's the name of it. Why do I remember the Winter's Howl here and not in 5? Interesting. Anyways, Winter's Howl, not great. Not a fan of it. Winter's Howl. I'm only saying that because in the BO1 version, they have the Winter's Howl on Verrect. I don't know why. Fucking tragic. Yeah, not a huge fan of the layout, but it's still good. It's fun, especially for an early World at War base zombies survival experience. It's really great, especially the people spawning away from each other. Like if you have 4 people, one team spawns just 2 and the other team spawns just 2, and you can't open the door until you turn the power on. Really cool idea, really unique. I like it. Yeah, pretty damn good. I like Verrect. It's a fun map to play on. Pretty much it. Forsaken. I gotta be completely honest. I don't like Forsaken. I do like it more than these two, though. It's just pretty lackluster for me. I'm not a huge fan of it. It just feels like you're teleporting room to room, and the main Easter egg ending did not feel satisfying at all. I do have to say the wonder weapon's pretty damn cool for Forsaken, but honestly, that's the best thing I can even say about it. It makes you skip rounds. The map didn't feel great to play on. It just felt like a bunch of mashed locations together with no real reason to go from section to section other than for Easter egg steps and stuff. And the random zip lines you can zip up are cool, but they don't really make much sense, and they're only really there for more mobility. Yeah, no, I just didn't really like the layout of this map, to be honest. Kind of wish it was a little better. Yeah, Durang Fong is just slightly better than Infection. I hate Durang Fong. It's the Vanguard Zombies. It's fucking terrible. I just think it's slightly better than Infection, and I probably would play it over all these other maps, to be perfectly honest, but it's still not great. I did not like Durang Fong. I didn't even buy Vanguard. I just tried it at a friend's house, and to be honest, Durang Fong was just not good enough to be the sole reason I even get Vanguard. I was just like, nah, this ain't it. This isn't fun. It's okay. It's just, I don't know. It just felt very lackluster. Maybe if I went back and played it a little bit more and more, maybe I'll have a different opinion, but I don't see that happening. I never bought Vanguard. I don't plan on it. Nuketown Zombies is bad. It's almost painful for me. I hate Nuketown Zombies, especially, which is weird because I love Nuketown as an actual multiplayer map, but for zombies it just feels lackluster, uninspired. The map layout doesn't really work for zombies. Not only that, the perk challenge system where the perks randomly spawn is just not fun. It's just infuriating, and trying to train on this map is freaking painful. They made it absolutely terrible because they added so many cracks and bumps and bullshit. It's just not fun. And the wonder weapon was an LSAT, so that tells you about all you need to know. What even is this? This is another Vanguard map. This shit's ass. That is another Vanguard map, right? Or is that the Shinonuma remake of Vanguard? Because if it's the Shinonuma remake of on Vanguard, I'd actually probably put in an average. I actually did play that a lot at my buddy's house. I actually did like that the most because it was round based and it was somewhat different from the original Shinonuma and had a little bit of personality. It was pretty damn fun. I think Vanguard. But if this was the other Vanguard map, this shit's going in painful. This shit's worse than Durang Fong. I played it, didn't like it, thought it was ass, personally. But yeah, it's gonna do it. Let me zoom out, actually, a little bit. Oh, I leaked my name. Ah. Or, wait, did I leak my name? No, I didn't. Okay, bet. My face cam is covering it. Others. Okay. Here you guys go. Here is the full list. You guys get a clear shot where I put everything. So, just to clarify, my top 5 zombie maps of all time is Mob of the Dead, Der Eisendrache, Origins, Zombies in Spaceland, and then Call of the Dead. And then Moon shortly after, Buried, 9, Ancient Evil, Dori's, Kino, Shadows, the Giant. Okay, that's my list. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit, actually, really different from last time, because I've been playing a lot more zombies lately. More of the OG stuff, especially since all the new zombies is not as good as it used to be. Comment down below or like below what you think, you agree with, disagree with, what your zombies take is. And yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys all have to say. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.